Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video is titled Andrew Wilson debates Amaranth's husband on kids having an OF mom. Interesting. We're going to check this video together, and I love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in. This is a member shout out. Thank you so much for signing up to become a member here on this channel or for being a member on this channel. Your love and support is immensely appreciated. And if you want to sign up to become a member here on this channel, you can click the link in the description box below to sign up to become a member. Once again, thank you so much for signing up to become a member.
Are you going to have kids?
We kind of decided when we were dating that we didn't want kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time with my brother's three kids, and that's kind of the way she gets the kids feel.
Yeah. A lot of animals.
The question that comes up, obviously, all the time, I'm sure you've heard it before, is like, what happens when little Johnny
Right.
comes home and is like, I got beat up at school because, people are like, look at your mom. And like, what's the navigational principle there? Even if you have kids that aren't yours but are around, that could happen to them too, right? Especially considering if people are breaking into your house, I'm guessing, and I hate even saying that, but I'm guessing you've been doxxed all over the place, like most of us have, right? So, I mean, that's a real possibility, right? So how do you navigate that?
I have a variant perception on that. Like, when I hear it, it's kind of like, I don't know, like I can see where that logic, kind of comes from. And especially like if you say like, like in the mid 2000s, little Johnny grew up and his mom was like one of the first online, P stars, that'd be kind of I think that would be pretty bad, right? But like, I think going forward, the way I see it, OF became so ubiquitous, and then like, it's still not like fully like, like a P company studio production.
Yeah.
I actually think that like no one's gonna care by that time it rolls around. And
Well, we already have those kids. Like, we have reports of kids getting bullied over it, and then there was that
right
one
now.
kid. He unalived himself, right, because of the incessant. Like, kids are cruel, right? They can't help themselves. It's part of how they engage with the world, especially young men. Like you probably remember when you were in school. We're all assholes. So, I mean, I fully expect that that's not going to change, right?
I mean, this is probably a dim view of society, but I think that like, having financial resources is going to be way more important than like that social aspect, because like, especially now, like, I mean, sure, you can bully a kid for his mom doing OF, but you can bully a kid for anything or nothing at all, and incessantly, 24/7.
Yeah, but it's like scalable, right? So if you're getting bullied for being fat, it's like, okay, you can lose weight, right? If you're getting bullied for being ugly, maybe you could do some things about that. Which kids, half of bullying with men, for instance, is part of that.
Yeah.
Like, look, you need to get your shit together, right? In order to be part of the in group, but you can't like take that part away, right? You can't take that. You could even be like, well, mom quit, mom stopped doing it. And they don't, like, we don't care. They got the videos, right, in the information age. So I think isn't it like scalable that way?
I actually think I feel worse for the people who are gonna get bullied whose mom didn't do OF, because like, how hard is it to be like, I found his mom's OF and she never did it?
What is it saying? The fact that he's tone deaf or trying to behave like he's never been a kid before, or you don't know how high school kids behave, or is he KG, right, or K9, whatever those are, like how they behave. How are you suddenly having amnesia as to how kids behave? Whether 2020 or 2000 and whatever year that was, kids are still gonna be kids, and that's how it is. Even though they still want to bring the work ideology onto it, kids are still gonna be kids. What is it saying? What is it saying?
I mean, everyone uses a screen name. You just have to find someone who kind of similarly look like, their mom potentially would at a younger age. You can like, there's going to be kids manufacturing that as a way to bully, and so like,
Yeah, but you can still hide behind the fact of the matter, right? So like, if it's the case that you're saying like, but yeah, I got
AI,
it.
where it's going,
But the fact of
it's
the
gonna be
matter
pretty
is,
easy.
and when we're looking at AI, here's something that's interesting, because you bring up a good point. I hadn't thought about this before. Like, okay, well, they could just make this shit up anyway, right? I was in a Discord call the other day with a Zoomer I was talking to. I don't remember, some politics something. and he sent me an AI video, and I had to take a double take at it. Like, I thought at first it was real, and I realized something important, which is that because of this age gap, I got great social skills. Zoomers didn't really get great social skills. They got different skills. And one skill they have is when it's fake media, they can fucking tell in 5 seconds. Like, it's
Exactly.
crazy. They can just look at it and be like, nope, that shit's fake. Look at this. They can tell that shit.
That's
And it's
absolutely
because their brains have been wired towards that, and mine was not, right? It was wired towards having social interactions.
Spoken about earlier regarding like bullying of the kids of OnlyFans models. And I think when it comes to a bullying issue, I don't think people should be told to like fix the thing that they're being bullied for, or like even on the parents' end. I think that has a lot more to do with the bully in general, and that bullying itself should be countered. So like if you have a bully who's gonna incessantly bully a kid of an OnlyFans model to the point where like their life is severely negatively affected, regardless if they come across that kid or not, or they're like, we have like there's no more OnlyFans models, that kid is still a bully, and they're still going to find a target and relentlessly bully them for whatever. So I think that's where the issue should be countered, rather than saying fix what you're being bullied for.
Thing
Even if
is,
it's on the parent side.
it's interesting. You have these conversations on bullying, especially, or things like this. Like, if you wanted to improve like the status of your social group, or somebody wants to be a part of it or something like that, isn't there a certain amount of hazing that's just kind of intrinsic? Like there's a bit of hazing which is just kind of always part of the process of human social activity. So if you're going to tell a woman, for instance, that she was really overweight in high school, and like, it's unhealthy, right? And maybe, she's not the most pleasant person to be around because of it, or something like this. How do you even approach that without it reaching the aspect of bullying? Like, what's the difference between marking you need to do this for self-improvement and not? Like, it can't both be perceived as bullying?
I don't think it's people in her school's job to like meanly make fun of her weight or anything. I think it's the job of people in her life, such as her family, if she's overweight, to like let her know about that and make sure she becomes healthy again.
Yeah, sure, but those people still
I don't think hazing and bullying is a
Yeah,
good
but those
thing.
people still want to be part of social groups, because we're human beings, right? And we're pack
course.
animals. And if you want to be a part of a social group, they're gonna like have some kind of hazing ritual for you, no matter what.
Well, you're talking more about like a cliquey popular group.
Not even
Like,
a cliquey popular group,
I
just
mean,
every group.
Today in like schools, there's like normal people who aren't weird like that and who won't like reject you from
Well,
being
it
friends
doesn't
with them
seem to
based
be
on
the
their
case,
weight.
or we wouldn't be crying about bullying all the time, all over the internet. Everybody, right? Oh, I've been bullied at school, and bullied at school, and bullied at school, and it's like you get to the details. A lot of times, it looks like regular social hazing to me. Now, I understand edge cases or extreme cases where it's just like incessant and they just won't lay off, right? Even when I was in high school, that was the case. But that sort of social hazing still happens, and to some degree, I think it's pretty healthy to have social hazing. It kind of puts people the direction that they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go. The groups that are more, in line with what their values or structures are, right? And isn't that part of the hazing process?
Well, you just mentioned like being in line with people's values, because that's what friendship is based on. It's based on character. So if you were rejecting someone from your friend group or not being friends with someone because of their body shape, I think that's very superficial and beyond the scope of healthy social
You think so?
hazing. A
I
little
mean,
bit,
I'm not
yeah.
sure, because like overt characteristics can tell you a lot about a person. Like if they don't have like for instance, let's take her for instance, right? There ain't no way that didn't take you years of hard ass fucking work to do. There ain't no way, right? That took years and years. And by the way, the diet that like IFBB pro bodybuilders have to go through, holy shit! It's like it's so brutal. It's like that's a lot of discipline. So people like that are probably not gonna, they might have people who aren't IFBB, pro friends or things, but the value structure is kind of leaning towards, I'm very disciplined, I'm very regimented, I'm very goal oriented, and by the way, I can stick with something in order to get to the results of that thing.
Yeah.
And so if other people, if they're like morbidly obese, for instance, right? That would be setting out the flags. Hey, I have completely different structured values than you do in the way that I live life, right? And wouldn't that be a red flag for you and like your social group? Like, hey, maybe we should vet this person a little bit. And I think that's healthy.
I mean, I certainly agree that like overt, like your appearance can't, like for example, in that example, can tell you a lot about a person.
Yeah.
But I still think friendship goes a lot beyond that. Like if you really had a genuine connection with this overweight person, then I think you could
Yeah, but
still
that's
certainly have a good friendship with
I think
them.
you're,
And you
I
shouldn't cut
think
that
we're
off.
saying the same thing, right? But you're talking about a connection barrier now, right? So how do you connect?
It wouldn't barrier me from connecting.
Maybe not.
A lot of normal people.
Sure,
can
sure.
connect.
I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just talking about a connection barrier between social groups and other people. And it's like, look, it doesn't look like it's changed that much to me. Usually, ugly kids hang out with ugly kids, and good-looking kids hang out with good-looking kids, and fat kids hang out with fat
I
kids.
wouldn't say it's that binary.
What's that? Well, it's not. It's not that clean, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like social groups seem to formulate around similar value structures, and so it's like.
Well, that's not fully value structures.
Can I say
but-
something about?
Well,
the
I
topic?
think it is because that's what the example is when you're talking about like somebody who's
You
regimented.
said ugly kids hang out with ugly kids. Being ugly is not a value structure.
No, that's not the value structure. The value structure is the tell of like how's this going to interact with my group structure and how's this going to interact with the way that I interact with other things. That's how people. Now we don't think about these things, right? They're kind of intuitive, but that is how social paradigms work. We vet people based just even purely on looks. We do this. You're going to be way more likely, for instance, for a guy to pull over and change your tire if you're good looking. And that's if you're a guy or a girl, right? Rather than if you're obese, guy or a girl. And the reason is, why do you think that is? It's like, it seems like...
Yeah, people judge based on appearance. But
It's-
what I
yeah.
also want to add is having just graduated high school and witnessing cliques and friend groups all around me, I want to say that the most long-lasting, healthy friendships or friend groups don't take those superficial external factors as seriously.
there wasn't
At all.
hazing in these groups?
There was, but the groups that took that more seriously did not last as long, did not have as healthy of a group dynamic. They would talk about each other behind their back. Like
I mean, that's common
friend
in high
groups
school,
and
right?
friendships that are not so based on those sorts of things are a lot healthier and better. And I also want to ask you a question. If
Sure.
you had a close friend,
Let me just say this: is how you're an adult and you're referencing or bringing um friendship in high school as to adults. They are two different things, right? Because again, let's even talking about the high school thing or high school stuff. Most of the time, many friendship are majorly superficial or beneficial, regardless of the case it is. As opposed to adults, right? Adults now they are more mature. They know exactly what they want or they know why they want to be friends with people. And again, you hear the saying that you are judged by how you look or judged by the way you look. Even you many people, no matter regardless of the case, many people want to be friends with good looking people, right? When I say good looking people, at least sometimes like in a friend group, at least some people want to be like, okay, even if they are a friend group, at least this person is pretty, they are also pretty. It's kind of like a mix and a blend, right? Lots of people, how many people do you think want to hang around with somebody who is not good looking? And we're talking about somebody who potentially doesn't dress nice or doesn't dress well or doesn't look presentable appearance wise and stuff. Many people don't want to hang around those type of people because guess what? You are dressed the way you dress, right? And show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Lots of people like psychologically the first thing will come that comes to their mind is okay, pick your friends wisely or choose your friends wisely. And yet some people say, oh, I choose my friends don't choose me. That's because they know exactly what they want and they know what they're looking for in friendship. And now we're not going into the internal part aspect. We're talking about more of the physical, more of the superficial, where lots of people be like, okay, surface level, these are the people they want to make friends with, right? So really, and then talk about bullying, right? In high school, regardless of the case, yeah, bullying is bad to one extent, but again, in high school, I think that's kind of what made high school fun, and that's what kind of made kids, right? Right, right. So, so no matter how much we try or want to try to do some things or try to say, oh, want to correct or erase these things, I don't. There is nobody who is supporting bullying, right? But at the exact same time, there are some fun phases or fun aspects of childhood that makes childhood interesting, right? Again, what are your thoughts on this?
who suddenly like gained a lot of weight to the point of becoming overweight, would you suddenly distance yourself from
Oh
your
my
friend?
God, we would be so mean to him. We would be so. We would be just. I mean, we would be
Okay, hold
fucking
on.
horrible.
Let me check the question.
Factors as seriously.
There wasn't
at all.
hazing in these groups.
There was, but the groups that took that more seriously did not last as long, did not have as healthy of a group dynamic. They would talk about each other behind their back. Like,
I mean, that's common
friend
in high
groups
school,
and
right?
friendships that are not so based on those sorts of things are a lot healthier and better. And I also want to ask you a question. If
Sure.
you had a close friend who suddenly like gained a lot of weight to the point of becoming overweight, would you suddenly distance yourself from
Oh
your
my
friend?
God, we would be so mean to him.
Like,
we would be
normal.
we would be just. I mean, we would be fucking horrible. But the thing is like, I had a time where I gained a bunch of weight. People were fucking horrible to me. And the thing is like, it's kind of good, right? It's kind of good. It's like there's a motivating factor. Like, look, if you I hate to bring this back to you again, right? But these like IFBB pros and these bodybuilders and shit, they are the meanest fucking people to each other.
Disagree.
But-
To each other.
to
for
each
sure.
other,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
each other. Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
meanest fucking people to each other, right? But it's not
And then we go
malicious.
harder and become
yeah,
better.
it's not malicious.
Yeah.
It's like
It can be a lot of the time to other people.
I know from the outsider's perspective, if you were to see some of these people when they're working out and they're like, "No, pump it up, you pussy, one more," you know, like. But there's a powerful motivator there that's not designed to be malicious.
I want to throw in, but to people not on that level, I would say generally these bodybuilders are the kindest people.
Yes, they're
because
very nice
what
people.
we put ourselves through in our minds and our close people through, we know what that's like. We like no one's worse to myself.
And I
than,
completely,
you know.
I completely
And
believe
good.
that. But a high school bully who's relentlessly bullying someone for their weight to the point of effing up their mental health. What I'm saying is social hazing can draw those kinds of extremes, and therefore that's why I believe in countering.
Yeah,
social hazing and then bullying to the point of like
Right.
ruining someone's life are
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
and
Are
it
very
can, I'd
different
love to
things.
say something about that because I went through that horrendously growing up. So I actually got kicked out of school. I was put in a therapeutic day school. I self-harmed for 12 years. I was obese until 19. I was a binge eater, and then I got diagnosed. I flip-flopped and went into anorexia for 3 years. So I lost a bunch of weight. I was over 330 pounds, but I got blackmailed, right? So I got blackmailed by 2 high school boys who like sent my photos around the school, and kids every day would come to school and tell me that I was fat and pick on me because I grew up with well water. And eventually I got kicked out because I was constantly suicidal. I was in and out of the mental hospital, and this was when cyberbullying became like a big thing. Like everybody was on MySpace, everybody was on Facebook. Now I can say it has motivated me as a person now. When I was 13 to 16, I was cutting myself every day, and I was on mental health pills, and you know, I never fit in, I was never accepted, and then still until this day, like where I'm accepted now, I created that community. I started an online community that I run around the world with women. It's been hard for me to interject myself into society in a way that other people accept me, whether they see my arms or maybe I'm really high anxiety, and it took me years to love myself. Years and years and years to come to a place where I was like, I don't care what people think about me. I'm going to dress how I want. I'm going to listen to the music that I like. And so I think I do agree with what you're saying, where it can be a motivator, but I really think it depends.
I don't even think, I think this kind of be misconstrued a bit. So when she said there's a difference between hazing and bullying them to the brink of like gonna unalive themselves, I agree with that, right? I do think that there's social hazing, though. And I think that it is healthy, and I think that it is necessary. And it doesn't even always have to be super brutal. Like the way that women socially haze, usually I think that that's actually more brutal than the way that
Horrific.
men do. Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's way more brutal than men. It's like we just look at each other and we're like, "You fucking idiot! You're wearing the wrong shit," and we push each other and shove each other and do shit like that and whatever. No one cares, right? But women do all kinds of like backbiting and rumor mongering and all sorts of things to shit test, and it can be. I understand that, right? But what I'm saying is that social hazing itself, I think that if you take the bullying aspect and you say, well, we have to eliminate social hazing because it can lead to bullying, I think that that's when you're going way too far. You're going outside of basic human interactions.
Exactly.
Because we do kind of need to socially haze each other a bit. It's kind of necessary.
I would like to add, I do kind of think that we are acting as if like we're talking about social hazing as if it's like the only way to push someone in the right direction. I've had very kind, very supportive friends tell me that something I was doing wasn't good for me and like really encourage me. And it has like, those have been things that have
You had
changed my
friends
life.
who did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the social hazing comes before the friend comes.
Sure.
That's part of the social hazing process. That's where you're kind of developing the group dynamic, right? The social hazing happens before there's a friendship.
Yeah, but if I meet someone that I don't like in some way, or their values don't align with mine, my goal isn't to change them. My goal is to find someone who I do want to be friends with.
Yeah, I understand your goal may not be to change a person, right? But you probably have people that you find unpleasant to be around.
Absolutely.
Or you don't particularly care for their company, or you don't like them very much. You don't like when they're around maybe friend groups that you have. And that's where social hazing comes in. It's the idea of like creating a rejection of space between you and other people because you don't want them either a part of your life or a part of the people around you's life because they're just unpleasant for you to be. Whether they're unpleasant or not has nothing to do with it. They're unpleasant for you. And that's kind of what social hazing is.
I just think that we're completely capable of doing it in a way that isn't like mean. That's it. I think that.
Yeah, I know that there's a big emphasis when you talk about this issue between men and women, where for women, there's a value structure that they have around, I call it the cult of be nice, right? Where it's like, be nice means everything. Men aren't really that way. They don't really give a shit about nice, really. It's not all that important to us. And so we talk about the issue in a totally different way, right? That's how we discuss the issue. But I don't think that women, even though they ascribe to be nice, that box of be nice, I don't think they actually are. I think that they use...
I do not like the word nice.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
kind, you can be kind,
yes.
and good.
Yeah.
But good is not equivalent to nice.
That's not Are you going to have...
Okay. The point here is, or the problem here is, everybody wants to be nice. Everybody wants to be right in this. But here is the thing, right? Many people sort of be friends or are friends with each other and pretend to each other a lot because one person don't want to say something that will hurt the other person's feelings, right? And the other person don't want to say or tell the friend the truth because they don't want to hurt the person's feelings. There are some friendship that you would have with some particular group of people and they will tell you like, babe, you don't dey fat to, like in English, babe, you're getting fat to, work on yourself. It's not, that's not in a demeaning way, right? But some people be like, how you go talk that kind of thing, or why would you say that, say that way to your friend? That's not nice. Or your friend, it does, is not. So it's just this tone at which people just want to sort of be correct in some type of way, like want to say some things based off of emotions, to say, oh, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, so let me look for a nice way or a cute way to say this thing so the person doesn't feel like I'm criticizing the person. And most of the time, exactly what was being discussed, and most of the time there are ways you say it, and the person would understand to say, wait, really? Oh, that's true. That's it. Because not everybody walks around or moves around and cares about people's feelings or how people feel. Just that now in the society, current society, we want to base it off like people's feelings, and trying to ignore logic or ignore the truth, because lots of people prefer the lies as opposed to the truth. It makes no sense. And the fact that everybody wants to be correct, that's where the problem is, because by doing so, you're gonna be hanging around lots of fake people, potentially may not have your back. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video. This is a member shout out. Thank you so much for signing up to become a member here on this channel, or for being a member here on this channel. Your love and support is immensely appreciated. Thank you so much. And if you want to sign up to become a member here on this channel, make sure to click the link in the description box below to sign up to become a member today. Thank you so much once again.